The fourth-born female illegally registered to my parents at birth that was pretending to be my youngest sister when I was born the 18th of January, 1972. The motives and circumstances had that ad-lib theme. Like Ashay's granddaughter, the theme was the neo-Nazis. It was yet another instance of the crime of baby theft off my father Kevin Webb the Habsburg, great-grandson of Emperor Franz Joseph I, of Austria and Hungary. The fourth time was a repeat of the basic scenario for the first illegally registered child. The fourth-born child illegally registered to my parents at birth's grandfather was a man surnamed Richardson. Richardson was a maximum security prison inmate serving life without parole in Germany in 1943 in a temporary maximum security prison in Germany. I owned the site the prison was on as part of my Hohenzollern royal family estate. Richardson was serving serious time for heinous, sexually themed, and violent crimes. Similar to Dachau prison, the neo-Nazis took the prison Richardson was in at gunpoint in December 1943. They caused the escape of hundreds of maximum security inmates living in the jail. They told the escapees they could join the neo-Nazis or go free to fend for themselves in late 1943 World War II Germany. Almost all of the escapees, if not all, made the decision to join the terrorism group which was established by name that month. The escaped inmates then took over running the jail, using the identities and clothing of the deceased staff of the jail. The one exception was Richardson. Instead of him using the identity of the deceased prison governor employed at the jail, they had him made over by a professional film production crew to look like Rudolf Hesse instead. Richardson then started wearing altered clothing that belonged to Hesse, whilst made over by the award-winning professional film crew, as if for an acting job pretending to be Hesse. Richardson had Hesse's identity documents in his clothing when pretending to run the jail between December 1943 and June 1945. After the prison was taken over by the escaped inmates using the deceased staff's identities, except for Richardson the imposter Hesse, the neo-Nazis decided to fill the jail with homosexual females illegally detained from the German public, particularly from the major cities. The jail became very overcrowded very quickly in early 1944. Richardson, pretending to be Hesse, then coordinated the torture of the female homosexuals illegally detained in the jail he escaped from for the neo-Nazis. An estimated over 20% of the illegally detained females were part Australian. There were regular remarks themed around the idea that every adult homosexual female in Germany who was part Australian was in the jail. There were also large numbers of Iraqi and Canadian homosexual females illegally detained in the prison. Richardson tortured them whilst he pretended to run the jail until it was taken at gunpoint by troops from the Allies in mid-1945. Richardson was pretending to be Rudolf Hesse when arrested, wearing Hesse's clothing and illegally using Hesse's identity documents. Richardson was one of the people tried at the Nuremberg trials starting November 1945. He was tried for escaping the jail, torturing homosexual females illegally detained in the jail for the neo-Nazis, and illegally using the identity of Rudolf Hesse whilst doing it. Fake history lunatics now pretend Richardson was really Rudolf Hesse on trial at Nuremberg for television and the internet, amongst other forms of media. The real Hesse was not involved in the Nuremberg trials at all. He died quietly, almost unnoticed, in Gippsland, Australia in the 1960s. When imposter wife of my father Kevin Webb the Habsburg got pregnant for a fourth time in 1966, she got pregnant with prison escapee cum neo-Nazi Richardson's granddaughter. Similar to the first illegally registered female, who was Dachau prison escapee cum neo-Nazi Ricky Ashay's granddaughter. The fourth and final illegally registered intruder into my family unit was born in March 1967. As with the previous three, my father Kevin's real wife Judith had gotten pregnant again and dumped the result of the pregnancy elsewhere, unregistered. The child or children would have been eligible Habsburg royals. USA Air Force in Army uniforms refused to assist any female who appeared to be Australian when evacuating the jail and providing on-site medical assistance using British nurses at the end of World War II. There was a thorough investigation into the lack of duty of care after WW2, and all parties involved were thoroughly punished for it. The events further exposed past instances of crimes against Australians during World War I to people amongst the rest of the USA and to a lesser extent, the United Kingdom. The fourth child of imposter wife Pauline, the granddaughter of Richardson, started pretending to be my youngest sister when I was born the 18th of January, 1972.